Welcome into a casual gaming conversation special report breaking down the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct reveal. Nick, how are we feeling after that?
There's a lot to talk about. That's where I'm at with this because I don't want to give a score on this probably until the very end of our discussion because I feel like going through all the information will make it a lot easier to remember certain things. But when it comes to Nintendo first party output, I think that there was a lot of great here. A lot of great from news about GameCube and the upgrade paths and all that stuff. And then what we got from Donkey Kong and Kirby. There's a lot of great stuff there. The partners, they showed up. They showed out. A lot to be excited about. But also there were some missteps. There were some moments where we were a little bit bored at the start of this thing. They went in depth on the console. They should have thrown the price in during this presentation, in my opinion. Don't leave any questions. Other than that, though, I think that this was a great morning from Nintendo Switch.
I am a little bit lower on it than you are. I think that in reference to the 2017 Nintendo Switch 1 reveal, this is a way better reveal, but still echoes that, where it feels like they have to do and say certain things, and they're going to slip up and do like the Nintendo Switch 2
Camera
and then like the breakdown game or whatever where you can like walk around the Nintendo Switch and like learn about all the features, and that's paid. Like that's so Nintendo and like not just a not necessary thing to even show here. It could be included or like it can be a part of the console, but having that be a part of your presentation is a little weird to me. And spending 10 minutes on the C button, the cast button, or the chat button rather, and it not looking great. I think it's just a misstep.
We can call it what it is. It looks bad.
Yeah.
And so
I think that a chat feature is cool, but I think that like the camera feature is like clearly half-baked, does not look very good, very low quality. That like, why even show that here? Or at least why spend that much time on it?
There's like 7 minutes of that at the start of this whole thing. Yeah, no, there's a lot to love. There's a lot to question. Like, why did they make X, Y, and Z decision? But I think when we talk about just the games and then the presentation of all of it, I think that this was strong, which is a weird way to think about it. But we got to remember that this whole thing kicked off with Mario Kart. And that is a big time type of game.
But we already knew about it. 100%. So it's less exciting. But it is cool to get details.
Here's the thing, though. We knew it existed because they showed it. And so we didn't have a pop-up like, oh, shit, it's Mario Kart, compared to the way that we would with the Donkey Kong game and Kirby Air Ride and all that stuff. But we didn't see the fucking game. Watching that trailer is a trailer that, dude, that harmonica, fucking hot, dude. That trailer was awesome. And so just going through it, like, that is, for me, a huge standout moment. This is one of the moments of the Direct for me really early on, where I'm like, this shit looks fucking awesome. I'm all about this. All about it.
Yeah.
And
I think that the game looks great. I think it is inherently a little bit disappointing that this is the launch title.
Yeah.
I think that it's a little weird. And the fact that they're not bolstering that first party launch lineup with something else, I think is kind of strange.
I'm really curious to see how, like, we're going to be getting information, I assume, about it. I think that there's a good chance we get information about Metroid potentially being
Why wouldn't they do that? Why wouldn't they do that here, though?
Because they're not the best sometimes when it comes to these presentation Connors, weird Nintendo decisions. How much are upgrade paths? We don't know yet. I assume that information is going to be coming out in the next 10 hours.
If somebody sees that online, please let us know.
Yeah.
I think that I'm really excited for Mario Kart 9. I think the fact that it has those open world aspects of maybe like a collectathon type experience of like finding hidden secrets lends to some single player need that I think would be lacking otherwise. So it puts my mind at ease a little bit, but not enough for me to be like, they don't need a banger single player first party title at launch. But the fact that Donkey Kong is a month later is kind of putting that fear at ease. It's really the inverse of the Nintendo Switch 1, where it was Zelda and then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe a month later. It's Mario Kart 9 and then Donkey Kong a month later. I think that's okay.
Yeah.
It's just, it's going to be a less exciting release day to come home with just Mario Kart. For me, at least.
We're wholly just hopping into the discussion now. We're going through game by game sort of deal and everything. For me, Mario Kart 9 is, or Mario Kart Worlds, it's what's called. Holy shit, what a name! Especially alluding off to Super Mario World and everything. Like, and what this game seems to be. Day one, I'm gonna have a great time with this. Jeff Keighley posted this, and I think that it's worth bringing up. For Nintendo Switch 2 first-party games released with dates, Mario Kart World has its date. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour is also day one, obviously. Donkey Kong Bonanza is July 17th. Drag and Drive, the wheelchair basketball game, has no release date to it. Kirby Air Rides, but 2025. Kirby Air Rides 2025, no release date. And then right now he says Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is going to Switch 1, obviously, and Switch 2, and that just has 2025 also listed as of right now.
And Z-Day.
He didn't have Z-Day listed, but obviously
I'm just saying that's in the same boat as Metroid.
Yeah, it is. All right. But yeah, there's for me, there's so much to love with this game. I'm so excited for this title. Like, this is everything I could ever want from a Mario Kart game, and I think obviously packing it in, it's by it being a pack-in, it's going to be the highest selling game on the Switch. Too, in the same way that with the Switch 1, it had huge numbers coming from it. I do think that there is inherent value in having a awesome game at launch for a single player title, and we didn't necessarily have that. This is still a game that you play with your friends. This isn't something you're going to be able to sink in hundreds of hours solo, but I do think between the open world mechanics and like the way hopefully online works, there's so much to play. I mean, I'm a sicko that's going to play 500 hours of Mario Kart 9 or Worlds throughout the entire launch, and that's going to be fun. That's great. But I do think that day one, week one, month one, like this thing legitimately does come out the day before we go to SGF. I'm like, cool, we're going to stream from SGF Mario Kart Worlds. And we're going to fucking go and do a tournament from LA. And we're going to have fun on the plane, flying out and playing this all, like, and you, me, and Brady are going to all be looking at one Switch 2 console and playing with fucking Joy-Cons, going and trying out these new courses and everything together. There's so much that month one, I'm like, I think by having Donkey Kong a month later, and not, here's the thing, if you pair those two things up, I think that it's like, oh shit, we're just gonna get Kirby sometime later this year. Having it be a little bit of a staggered release, I think works well.
I think that launching with Donkey Kong and Mario Kart and having that gap in July, in my opinion,
would have been
better.
Yeah.
But I don't blame them. I understand the logic of kind of like trickling stuff out like they did with Switch 1, but I can't help but be a little bit disappointed.
No way. People in the chat right now are saying Mario Kart 8 is $80.
Wow.
Holy shit. Well,
I said it last night on stream that do not be shocked if it goes up. And this will give permission to PlayStation and Xbox to raise their prices, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
They have all just been waiting for this or whatever
for somebody
else to do it. And Nintendo first party makes sense to be the one to kind of start this trend.
So buy the bundle is what you're saying. Yeah, no, 100%. You just buy the fucking bundle. But the issue is Donkey Kong Bonanza going to be $80?
1,000%. Game cost is going to go up, guys. Game development costs are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's not sustainable at the current price. Inflation is getting worse, and it sucks. I don't want to pay more for games either, but I also would rather pay $80 for a game than everything go free to play microtransaction, nickel and dime, because they need to make their money one way or another. Like,
yeah,
I'm okay with spending the $80 up front for a game that I'm probably going to play over the next 5 years,
10 years.
100
Mario
hours.
Kart World is a decade game.
Yeah,
you know?
like we know this from Mario Kart 8 that we've played it hundreds of hours at this point.
I've probably played it's in my top 4 most played games ever. You know, but yeah, I thought it was gonna be 70 for everything. I was shocked that wasn't the case. By the way, the Mario Kart World Direct, you bet your ass I will be seated. Like, straight up, I will be there.
I kind of want the surprise of like what everything is
Yeah,
going to look like.
for me,
playing those courses for the first time is so fun.
Oh, totally.
That's honestly the best Mario Kart experience portion of like, oh geez, like this is so exciting to see what is new here.
So Mario Kart 9, or sorry, it's gonna be odd to start calling this thing Mario Kart World, which once again, this is a decade game. This is a game that I assume I'm going to play. Once again, we are taking two of my top 20 favorite games ever, Forza Horizon 5 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and they just went in bed together and made that. Like, I'm so happy. Like, I cannot, that is a dream fucking game for me.
I'm very excited for Mario Kart. world.
Yeah.
Do not get me wrong.
Yes.
It's just the business sense of launching with just that. That's the only, like, if that was second, if it was Donkey Kong at first and then Mario Kart a month later, that would be perfect for me. I would love that.
Here's the thing. I think I'm in the minority of this when it comes to the hardcore Nintendo Switch fan. People want that first player experience. For me, I love playing games with my friends. There's a reason that I love playing Monster Hunter with you guys and Helldivers last year and stuff like that. This is something that I really find a ton of joy in when it comes to the Mario Kart experience. And this title, I think, and we talk about it all the time, what is Mario Kart? Can it be an elite title? Can it be one of the best games this year and everything? Can this break Switch's, like, not only just financials, but also can this get a 95 on a Metacritic sort of deal?
Yeah.
And what I'm seeing right now, I know people are going to, like, roast me for this. Looks like, this is going to be the next step for the Mario Kart franchise. This could be a GOTY nom. So you're going to win it? Fuck no, because that just doesn't win what wins Game of the Year, but it still is immensely exciting. Or is Jay sending you another video?
Yeah, can you do me a favor and pull up the... Can you look up the Nintendo on this?
Oh, sure.
Can you look up the Nintendo Switch 2 launch lineup? I want to know everything that is coming out the day the console comes out.
Yeah, sure.
With third party, because obviously it's just Mario Kart for first party. I want to know third party.
Yeah, when it's the interesting part of having some level of understanding of launch lineup is I feel like it's all in flux right now. Like,
there was a bunch of stuff there that they said is coming at launch.
Yeah,
like Split Fiction is launch. I think Bravely Default, they said, is launch. Which honestly, I've been meaning to play Bravely Default for a very long time, so it would be kind of nice to experience that.
I got nothing yet when it comes to Switch launch lineup. But yeah, I think that there's a lot to love with this presentation when it comes to just Mario Kart 2. Started out strong. This is always the question of what's your opener? What's your closer? What's in there? Third-party partners. How is this all going to shake out? Starting out with Mario Kart was a fucking big one. It was a huge win. I think that is I think that Mario Kart World is good enough for me. And we had that conversation. Is just Mario Kart enough? For me, the answer is yes. But also, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the best game on Switch to me. So they're starting out with their best banger possible, in my opinion. But yeah, do we want to hop into the paid demo thing? Or let's talk about chat. Voice chat first. Yeah. Cool. That's sort of it, where I'm like, yeah, this is like not the biggest thing ever, but it's also not it's also just like one of those question marks of like, why are you showing it this way? But I think that this is a cool feature.
Is it the Dusk Blood or the Dusk Bloods?
I can pull it up for you.
I think that the chat feature is nice to have. Like, why was this not already a thing beforehand?
The Dusk Bloods with an S.
Okay.
Oh my god. We got fucking Bloodborne, dude. We got Bloodborne 2.
It's not Bloodborne 2.
Connor, it's Bloodborne 2. Holy shit. That From Software game is multiplayer, Goops just said.
Yeah. It just totally multiplayer, or it just has multiplayer?
I assume that it has multiplayer. There's no way that it's full on.
There was somebody running around alone for a lot of it.
For a lot of it. I don't think that's Night Rain Light. I'd be shocked if that is. That's
like the thing with Night Rain's reveal trailer is you knew immediately that this is a multiplayer video game that's all about like
playing with your friends,
running around with your friends. That did not look like that was the case for.
We'll get more details about that as I assume that there's a chance I call into Connor's stream tonight because I assume that we're going to get much more detail. Deltarune's also day one. Dusk Bloods. Othering on the Switch is going to go hard. I agree. There's a lot to talk about third party here, but let's, I think that the chat functionality is good. The big reason that they didn't have it before, they said, is this is a family console. We don't want it, for the kid safety. They have a thing with the parent app, which is great. Mm-hmm. I think that all in all, this is just a good feature. All the camera stuff, everything else, waste of fucking time.
Embarrassing. Really, just why would you show that if that's going to be how it looks? Say that you have like a camera feature and then move on, and maybe you get out of this without looking kind of silly like they did. But I think this looks really like, oh my goodness.
Groups, we're getting more details on Dust Bloods on the 14th. Can you help me out with that? Hitman World Assassination is day one as well. Cool. Yeah, there's going to be a lot that if somebody
a list. If somebody gets a list, please.
There's going to be something that gets posted by IGN or something soon.
Yeah,
those writers are just going crazy with it right now. All right, now moving on to the next major thing, which is this
the upgrade path.
No, I would say it's the next thing that they showed was the packing game.
It's not a packing game.
That's not a packing game.
It costs. This is embarrassing.
This
too.
is embarrassing.
Like,
so this is the point of the presentation that me and Brady were looking at each other, being like,
"What the fuck?
They gotta fucking bring it down the line. They gotta bring it down the line." Do you shoot now that they mentioned FPS?
Did I say exactly
yes.
that? Okay. Well, I'll find a shoe. Indeed.
Connor with his hyperbole. This is embarrassing.
Yeah, that's really rough.
The fact that it is priced is ridiculous.
Wait, what are they doing? Who's gonna buy that? Who is buying that?
This game will sell worse than Concord. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Do we want to even talk any more about this, or other than the fact that this was embarrassing, we're not going to play it? It's bad.
No, I there's nothing else to really say there.
All right, moving on. We get the launch date, June 5th. Let's talk. Let's stop here.
Sweet.
June 5th. Best case scenario?
I guess, yeah. I mean, like, I want this thing as soon as possible.
How much is that going to cost?
And here's the thing when it comes to the launch date, when it comes to this, when it comes to the future of the Switch 2, is like, guys, when the Switch 1 was launching, people had to like talk themselves into buying it. People
canceled pre-order. Literally, I'm not going to
people
pre-order.
After this presentation were like, the 2017 initial like presentation for the Switch 1 were like, that sucked. I'm going to wait on the Switch. And obviously, as time has gone on, the Switch 1 has become one of the greatest consoles of all time. So when it comes to the Switch 2 launching with 3 titles in the first year that I think are very notable first-party titles and having really solid third-party support with the better visuals than Switch 1, obviously, and the ability to play games like Elden Ring.
The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 edition upgrades are free on Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass members. Fucking call that shit, baby.
Nice.
Call that shit.
But is it just those two? Then we have to look at like the ones that are adding new content.
Select upgrade packs are at no additional cost. Nintendo Switch Online Expansion members playing Breath of the Wild and Zelda. Those two are no cost, but it shows a photo of 4 things, including Metroid. So that's interesting. Holy shit.
That's cool. Is it the one with expansion? Do you have to be at the highest tier or whatever?
Yeah, the expansion pass. Yeah. Cool. Which kind of makes sense. Holy shit. I feel like this is just like I'm in the newsroom at ESPN and it's free agency day. Like, holy fucking
Switch
shit.
1 presentation
Pre-order a list up on Nintendo. What does that mean?
Switch 1 had way more first party games than this. It had Splatoon 2, which was like, okay, that's fine. For a lot of people, because we had just gotten Splatoon 1 and we had already seen it in that initial trailer. And then Mario Odyssey was cool, but was not coming at launch. A lot of people wanted it at launch. It was coming a lot later, so that was disappointing for a lot of people. A lot of people were like, I'll wait until that. But
if you can get me if someone can get me a link to the pre-orders and DM me on Discord, that'd be great. Because I don't see it currently. Continue on, sorry.
Don't worry, 64 is what he says.
Yeah.
So I think that with all of this in mind, for my excitement for the Switch 2 and why I'm wanting to buy it at launch, very similar to the PS5 Pro, which is a different situation, but it's an investment into the future where it's like, I know that I'm going to be playing this for the next 7 years, that I'm really excited to experience that and see what they come out with. And if my first year with this is Mario Kart, followed up by Donkey Kong, followed up by Kirby
Air Riders.
There is a game in the fall that we don't know about. You have to imagine, right?
I think that September we get a direct.
September you do a direct?
But I think that it's September we get a direct and it's Kirby Air Riders and then we get.
Oh, you also have to factor in Metroid.
Metroid and Pokemon. Yeah, for sure.
So the fall games could be Metroid in September, Air Ride in October, and then
I think
Pokemon
Air Ride is
Zeta,
November one of those two.
In November.
Yeah.
There you go.
And that's a hell of a fucking year. Thank you so much, Air, Gemrich. There's so much to love about this. There's also but real quick, June 5th launch.
Kirby Air Riders release date is August 28th. Wow.
Why wouldn't you show that?
Yeah, that's weird.
Why wouldn't you show that? Yeah, well, we already got that Chili Ponies, which is, in my opinion, once again, called my fucking shot on that one. That's a great move.
I know this is an all over the place kind of podcast experience, but we're just kind of like getting this information.
Yeah, this is the breaking news aspect of this. We're just trying to figure it out.
I can't believe they took the most wishlisted game in the history of Steam and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, here's 2 seconds and it's coming in 2025 for Silksong."
Yeah,
that was very funny.
That's once again, the marketing is for Silksong is 100%
with Xbox.
With Xbox, yeah. We will see it this June during Showcase, and it will be let's fucking go. First batch of invitations go out May 8th with additional batches of email invitations and out periodically until purchasing on My Nintendo Store is open to everyone. Yeah, so
this is just pre-ordering the pre-order.
Yeah, pre-ordering the pre-order.
Okay. And then I would imagine, do you think like retailers get it same day?
Yeah, retailers get it same day. I'd be shocked if that wasn't the case. But then again, Nintendo does weird shit all the time. IGN just said no Kirby release date outside of 2025. Okay. Yeah, okay. We'll wait on that information.
Because if it's August, like, and we're going June, July, August for Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, Kirby, like that's a really strong first
unbelievable.
And the thing is I think a lot of console manufacturers would release those all like in succession at launch, like we did with PS5 with Miles Morales and Demon Souls. And I guess that's just Player in some capacity, but like they really seem to like to trickle their stuff out, and I kind of like that, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a really. By the way, when we say get it through a realtor, we're saying pre-orders through a retailer. Yeah, I did that last time too. The Ask Developer articles today. There's going to be so much information. By the way, I do want to confirm tomorrow. My plan is to react to some of these tree houses. And just have it up and try to talk over it as we get more and more information. There's just so much here. So June 5th. I still want to talk about June 5th. Best case scenario date?
Yeah.
Best case scenario.
I mean, I would have preferred it even earlier, but I just want to play the console.
But like when it came to it's going to be a couple months out, everyone, like GDC wise, the amount of leaks that were coming out of GDC when it was like, this console's coming out in June. Like I was 1000% convinced it was coming out in June. If I thought anything else, I would have been more shocked than seeing third-party developers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was worst kept secret that this thing was June. June 5th is the first weekend up. Mm-hmm. Comes out on Thursday too, which is pretty wild.
Real quick, now we know why Donkey Kong looks like that in Kart.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's getting the new art style.
Yeah.
Tender Human, we saw that one. The upgrade path.
The upgrade path is interesting. I want to know about Jamboree. You know what I mean? Like with the DLC aspect of it, or the Kirby DLC. Like
it looks like the Switch 2 editions are just 10 extra, or it's if you have NSO, you're good to go.
I understand that it will run better,
but
I want to know if they're going to charge for the expansion. You know what I mean?
I mean, this expansion, in my opinion, isn't the best. But yeah, I can't believe it. Yakuza at launch. Okay, that's another one. Yeah,
because I could see myself playing Yakuza 0. That's the thing. Like Switch 1 at launch, people were playing Zelda, and then once you beat Zelda, it was snipper clips. Or you could play I Am Setsuna or Super Bomberman R. Like this is not a strong launch lineup. If I on the first day can jump between, I know they're older games and it's mileage may vary depending on who you are and what you've played, but like I have not played Bravely Default and I would like to check that out. I have not played Yakuza 0. I would like to check that out. And I think it would be, and then I'm mostly playing Mario Kart.
Jeff Keighley, digital games are now $80 across the board, which cool.
It's not, I always want to pay less for video games, but like I think for the health of the video game industry, this is a necessary move. And I know that nobody's going to be happy about it, but like I would rather this than microtransactions. I know that sucks, but like that's just how
physical is 90, it looks like.
Holy shit. Can we get confirmation on that, please?
Yeah, can we get that?
I feel like I kind of doubt that just because of the way that they've never had like a difference between digital and physical.
I thought they used to back in the day.
I'm talking about like
recently,
Switch
Switch has and Nintendo really. Okay, yeah, the expansion pass. This whole section of expansion pass, good, go, run it and everything. Cyberpunk and launch, yeah, sweet. Great.
Yeah, I need a list. If we can get a list, if somebody finds a list of all the games that are officially at launch,
I assume IGN, GameSpot. That's your best bet for one of those two showing up. My thing is I want to talk and not just be on my laptop this entire time.
It's literally you need to make it a month with all of these third-party titles mainly playing Mario Kart. And then you get Donkey Kong. It's like...
you're going to play Mario Kart with your buds. And then you also, at night, you want to know what? I'm going to say it. I never do this. I never fucking do this. I never play games unless they're fully early access. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna play Deltarune on my Switch too. That's gonna be the other thing I download and have there with Mario Kart that I can play by myself.
Big get for them to have that day and date.
Day and date. Toby
with the
Fox.
2 new chapters. Is that
fucking
what it is?
huge? Zelda Ocarina of Time remake. Why Nintendo? Why? I mean, come on.
I'm seeing a €10 difference between physical and digital. Wow.
Also, $80 for any Nintendo game seems insane. I want to make this very clear. Obviously,
Tom Henderson said $90 physical from.
That's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. When I trust Tom Henderson. What was he's not? He's sometimes rumor mill, but he's also a reporter.
Buckle up, guys. Like I
buckle the fuck up. Yeah.
I really think we need to understand that this is gonna. PS6 games are going to be $100.
But once again, we're talking about let's say 80, 90 and everything. We're talking about Nintendo first party. I assume Cyberpunk's not going to be $80.
That's a good point.
I assume that everything is going to be all decided marketplace just value when it comes to MSRP when it comes to the third party titles. But it's a bad idea for Nintendo. I want to.
They don't give a fuck.
Do not.
You're gonna buy it. Like
I'm
people are gonna buy this shit. Like you have to understand that. Like if it looks bad for like a second for them to be like $80, people were like $80 for Joy-Cons. We all bought fucking multiple
6 of them.
Yeah, half of that is because of the fucking Joy-Con trip. But a lot of people are like a new color. Let me go pick those up. It's like. People buy Nintendo shit no matter what.
Real quick, by the way, I switched this because I think that it's better and more streamers do this. We only now have 1 block of ads an hour. We used to have 2 blocks of ads and they were separated. We now on Twitch only have 1 block of ads. So just a heads up, if you're not subscribed, you get through the 1 block and then you're good for an hour of content. I think that, the pricing of that is tough, but like, holy shit.
Gaming is now a luxury fund. It's always been a luxury fund.
Yes. There's a reason people only buy a couple of games a year. And when it comes to the Switch, it's the other thing is like games like Tears of the Kingdom and Mario Kart and stuff like that. I only buy Nintendo first party for the fucking bangers. But guess what? Those are some of the best experiences I've ever had in any games ever. So it's like, I'm okay to spend I once again, I'm a sicko. I love Mario Kart. I'm going to play 500 hours of this new Mario Kart game. I know myself. I would spend $500 on the new Mario Kart. Yeah. But then once again, that's my value perception of a game like Mario Kart.
Donkey Kong, $70 MSRP.
Okay. That's interesting.
Finding out everything is changing by the minute at this point.
Yeah.
Switch 2 event would have been a 7 out of 10 if not for From Software game.
Yep.
I think it's a 7 out of 10 anyways.
I think that this is an 8 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think it's a great presentation.
I think it is a good look.
Here's the thing. Third party showed the fuck up with a announcement from Software, which is, in my opinion, as we talk about all the time, the big 3.
Yeah.
It's not big 3, it's just big me. We got fucking Rockstar showing up, not Naughty Dog, but of course From Software coming in, getting the bag. And then the upgrade path, really good new stuff. All this good new stuff. Mm-hmm. The way that the console runs and the fact that we are getting 60 frames on this fucking game, great news.
Yeah.
The starting out with something like Mario Kart. I'm gonna rewatch that trailer 28 times. I'm gonna watch every fucking outlet react to it. I'm going to eat that fucking trailer for lunch.
They don't talk about any upgrade path between these games, right? They just talk about Nintendo Switch 2 edition. This is what the upgrades are for it.
Yeah, I think that
they do not say like if you have the Switch 1.
I think that that's going to be a separate game to game and everything. But I think that those Nintendo Switch 2 edition things are, hey, if you have it over here, it will be better over here.
Yeah.
And that can happen through NSL.
It was funny that the Zeta A didn't have a box art. Everything else did. It stood out really.
I think that that's another thing that they want to reveal on their own time. That's the other thing. What you just laid out is Nintendo's year is fucking awesome.
I think it's solid. I think it really depends on what is the Christmas season for a new launch title that is basically all previous gen games with Metroid and Zeta A. Is that enough for a new
Kirby
console?
Air Rides.
Do you think that's all due respect to Kirby Air Ride? It's not Zelda. It's not even a 3D Kirby game like in the way that Forgotten Land is. And you have 2 racing games technically in 1 year. I think that's a little odd, but I know Air Ride's different than Mario Kart World.
Another person said multiplayer for Dust Bloods. I need information from That's one that's going to do really well during a treehouse in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
Getting a shit ton of more information on that. Put some respect on Kirby Air Ride. I think we both put respect on it. We're excited
Kirby
about
Air Ride. I just don't know how, when it comes to like the marketing sense and like the business sense for Nintendo, if your big holiday game is Kirby Air Ride, I think that's a little weird. I think that's like for the first Switch one, like that's your Splatoon.
Yeah.
2, like where it's like that's exciting.
Or Xenoblade for some people. This is a game that isn't an all-in audience game. I think actually it is a little bit more than a Xenoblade. Splatoon's probably the better comp. And then, we can talk about this game. This was a one where it was like, cool, it's going to utilize the both mouse functionality. I think it's interesting. I don't know if I'm going to pick this one up, is the hard part. Also, if the game is $80, that's also an interesting proposition. I think that this needs to be a 40 max.
Yeah.
Hopefully 20. I think 20 would be a great spot for this. Summer 2025, let's have some fun and fuck around with this one. Sure. But yeah.
I think that this has arms written all over it. You know what I mean? Like where it's like, we have the tech, we want to do something interesting and weird with it. Let's make a new title like this or whatever. I think it could be a fun every once in a while type of game or whatever, but like I can't see myself sitting on my couch just like using the mouse functionality like all day.
Especially the mouse functionality. I don't know how good it's going to work. I will say though, I think that is a great stream game. Like that'll be one fun one for us to play on a stream or something like that. I'm losing excitement by the minute. Here's my thing. I properly, I think, set my expectations last night when I said, this is what I actually think is going to happen. And my one more thing was the 3D Mario. I was like, we're not getting 3D Mario in the middle of this presentation and then Zelda at the end and Mario Kart. But we know what this year's Nintendo is. And guess what? This is a 8-year console launch. We are going to get Smash Bros. We are going to get a 3D Mario. We're going to get 2D Mario. We're going to get Zelda. The fact that they were able to come together with something that is this solid from third party and first party and be like, hey, this year's going to be great if you're a Switch fan. I assume Hades 2, when that comes out, that's going to be day one over on Switch 2.
Yeah, 100%.
And so, like,
But is it going to have the early access thing, do you think?
I don't think that there's going to be early, like, you can't play the early access right now on Switch 2. No, there's no way. But yeah, Pro Controller is $80. Joy-Cons are $90. Camera's $50. Dock set is $110. What do you mean by dock set? Thank you so much for the
dock and the camera, maybe.
But they said camera $50. So
yeah, I'm saying camera and the dock together.
Dustblood tweet. Set. I want to. I need to go to from Twitter. What an amazing. This is one maybe we should have had Brady stick around for just so I could type and have other people talk. But this is wild.
I'm getting the last two reveals up.
Okay, great. I'm looking up From Software Twitter.
I think the third-party output that they showed here, really impressive. I think it's really a solid graphical showing as well.
The Dustbloods is a new multiplayer action game developed by From Software, coming exclusively to Nintendo Switch 2 in 2026. We hope you look forward to it.
What does that mean?
So curious. Yeah.
Is multiplayer like it is multiplayer focused? You're supposed to play it online. You can only play it online, or is it you can do multiplayer?
I don't think it's fucking Elden Ring Night Rain.
Yeah.
So that's the interesting part. Dock sets come with dock, USB-C, and HDMI. But if I go and I buy a Switch 2, it's going to come with a fucking dock.
Yes, they're saying for a replacement.
Oh, okay, for a replacement. Where are we getting OLED screen 3 years down the line? So they can go and hit you with another fucking $700 console.
When they were doing like the options or whatever for launch, I was like, maybe they do OLED here. And I was like,
I thought so for sure. Yeah. What were the options? Oh, just a bundle.
Just the two, yeah.
We'll talk about Donkey Kong in a moment. I want to go and run through this real quick. This rock block of first Switch headlines, as I'm going to be calling it, because Elden Ring.
That's
graphical
the
showcase.
One you start with. It's not the graphical showcase in the same way that I was hoping. Like Elden Ring is not this graphical powerhouse.
Here's the thing: it is that game. Elden Ring is gorgeous. But it's not like the way the grass moves or something. It's not.
It's all art direction.
It's all art direction.
It's
exactly.
Not visual fidelity.
Yeah, for sure. But I do think that there's a high level of visual fidelity. Also, the fact that a game from 2022 that is that open of a world that can run on this. I know it can run on a PS4 also. But I'm just saying that is impressive for a Switch console. I would have doubted that for sure. Joy-Cons are $90. I don't hate that.
Yeah,
they were 80. Wait, they were 80.
80.
Yeah, it's like I don't. That kind of makes sense. Once again, not a great news, but it's two controllers technically speaking, so it is what it is. I'm curious to see. Once again, this is just a hell of a rock block from them. Street Fighter 6, is it day one? Because once again, I'm going to play so much Street Fighter 6 on this fucking console. This is going to be my fighting game this year until 2X KO comes out. Cool. Right? It's just going to play. Hey, let's play a fucking ton of Street Fighter.
Yeah, I think everything that's shown in this rock block makes perfect sense. I'm surprised they did one rock block and then they did another rock block. That's kind of weird.
Well, that's normally how they do the Nintendo Directs. It was
back to back though.
Yeah, well, we didn't get anything in between these.
Not a major first party.
That was a little bit wild. 450 and then 80 for Mario Kart. I like Connor said, a lot of people on the internet you're gonna see in the next few days freak the fuck out about game pricing being higher, and that is it's not a good thing. It's not a consumer friendly thing. Obviously,
nobody's happy.
No one's happy about spending more money on video games, but also I'm also not happy when the studios close down and people lose their jobs and the industry feels like it's crumbling. Yeah. And so having more money being put into the industry, obviously you can be like, Nintendo doesn't fucking need it. They're top of their game still.
Donkey Kong confirmed $70.
Okay, great.
That is weird.
That they're doing this tiering of pricing and everything.
What's the deal with that?
Well, I think that there's a chance that they're like, hey, Donkey Kong's a 12-hour game. Donkey Kong's a 15-hour game. We can't charge $80 for
that is
a 15-hour game. Whereas I think that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is, or sorry, Mario Kart Worlds, man, it's going to be tough to get used to that, is just nonstop bangers. Mario Kart will last you 10 years. Don't worry. Yeah. Well, I'm going to be playing Mario Kart all year long.
Do we see a downgrade in visual fidelity here for Split Fiction, or is it just I think it's slight, right?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
It's really funny going back to the min-max questions with Joseph Ferris and being like, switch 2, and he's like, I can't tell you yet. And I was like, oh, that he had a shimmer in his eye.
I'm so glad the third party thing is bullshit.
What? Oh yeah, this third party, everyone came out.
Yes.
Third party wise. Tony Hawk on day one also. Yeah, like this is the question for third.
It's day one for when it launches.
Yes,
but it's not day one for
Switch. Yeah. For me, I just wanted there to be a moment. What's up, Crispy? Good to see you. I just wanted there to be a moment that I was like, I'm going to be playing this thing throughout my year. But like something like Tony Hawk is like, now the question is, do I take that one on the go, or do I want to play that on my PS5? And it's like, I kind of want to take that one on the go. That seems like a great game to go and play on a flight and everything.
The pre-order invite is on the Nintendo Store online right now.
Y'all do that yet? Not yet.
Are we just gonna wait, or is it time sensitive?
I don't think it's time sensitive. Okay. Is my thing. I mean, what the actual inside said, basically, don't embrace your group-owned companies, which I don't believe we signed any of. Which
I heard first it was 3-tiered approach.
Yep.
Third party in like the middle of the year, like 2 or 3 months after the fact, and that's clearly not true.
Yeah, there's stuff.
But then there's also like the stuff about the dev kits going out, and it's just a few. It seems like a few publishers. Do we see anything from Ubisoft?
No Ubi.
So we
did. Star Wars Outlaws.
You're right. See,
everyone's here.
Yeah,
everyone's here. I'm hyped day one for me. Yeah, I mean, for us, the nature of the gig is to get this day one, but also
am I hyped? Let's fucking go. Cannot wait to buy this, play Mario Kart day one. No. I was more excited for the PS5 and the launch titles for that.
Same.
For Spider-Man and
actually, no,
Demon's
I'm wrong.
Souls.
I'm more excited about this.
But I like the Switch and what it does and the portable nature of it. I'm excited for this new console. I'm excited for what is to come in the years to come. So I'm excited.
Yeah. If DK was day one, I'd be more hype.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the interesting conversation about all this. But I do think a staggered release it worked so well. Here's something every fucking month to get excited about. Every couple months, you're going to keep playing, you're going to keep playing, you're going to keep playing. And dude, this fucking trailer, did we break this one out?
No.
We probably shouldn't. It was too quick maybe. But like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, it's just saying...
it's coming to Switch 2 on
Are we sure we didn't see this exact thing already?
No, I'm pretty sure we have not seen. They said we're developing a game, and then it was this. I don't think we've seen that.
I'm getting weird flashback, like deja vu. That I
don't think we've seen.
I think you're wrong, but
okay, I might be wrong.
I might be wrong. So
So if you buy a 12-month subscription, you'll get higher up in the queue for pre-orders. That's so interesting. I was expecting AC Shadows. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't think that can run on this.
I I think that there's a chance during Treehouse this week that we get the Metroid date.
I can see that being possible.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this. I'm excited for Bravely Default.
Yeah, so now let's just hop in. The third-party output, and we'll call it out when you see it. And the question for me when it comes to third-party output, and we're talking about old games and everything, what you're actually going to fucking play on this is all that actually matters. There's hype, and then there's what are you actually going to fucking put on the sticks and play.
I think day one,
yeah,
I'm going to pick up Bravely Default, Mario Kart, and Yakuza 0. That's what I think I will probably be playing day one. And I know that 2 of those games are old-ass fucking games.
And then for me, I'm going to pick up Mario Kart World, Street Fighter 6, Deltarune.
I can see myself doing Deltarune. Yeah.
And that's just going to be a super fun fucking rock and roll.
I think that's a solid month of gaming. You know what I mean?
I think I think it's not only a solid month of gaming, I think that it's going to be, I mean, for me, I'm just thinking about personal schedule at this point. I'm taking the Switch 2 to fucking Monterey, baby. Yeah. Like, I'm going to be fucking playing Mario Kart before seeing Olivia Rodrigo, dude. Get her up on the podcast. Why not? Like, Death Stranding is June. So that's the other part where it's like there's other releases. We're going to be playing other stuff than just the Switch this summer. And this is all good shit.
Koei Tecmo with new Hyrule Warriors.
Can I deflate your tires a little bit? Yeah. Well, we're not going to get codes for it anyways. The Donkey Kong game is the week we're going for the cruise. On the launch day is the Friday that we roll out.
As long as I can get it downloaded.
Yeah, that's the nice part. I think that we're gonna be playing Donkey Kong on a fucking cruise.
Sweet,
it's gonna be a bonanza, dude.
It literally is going to be a bonanza.
Hyrule Warriors. You're wrong. Hyrule Warriors was the thing that broke up the 2 rock blocks.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But it is a third party.
Yeah, a third party
with
partnership.
First party IP.
Switch 2 on the cruise. It's gonna be fun. That's the other thing, dude. We're gonna be playing this thing with all of our cousins and playing Mario Kart and some Beer Kart probably, and just having a great adult time. Hyrule Warriors and new amiibos. Yeah, Switch 2, Cruise 2. Yeah, I can't. I'm having a really hard time. And once again, my opinion going into this was I want Mario Kart. I want it to look sick. I want to get excited. Open world, all that stuff. Convince me that this game is going to be the rightful sequel to one of the best games of all time and one of the most played games of all time. Across, like, I would love to like figure this out. Obviously, there's games like League of Legends and your forever games, but when it comes to like console-based games, I think that's got to be one of the most played games fucking ever, hours-wise. It's just so good. Box art
for Switch 2.
For Switch 2?
Yeah, like I want to see what the art looks like.
Sounds good. But yeah, third party Hyrule Warriors, not picking this one up.
No, I've never been a Muso kind of guy, but also I've never really tried.
Yeah, that's fair. Dude, shout out to Warrior 64 holding it down with all these announcements. That's what a Switch 2 box looks like.
That looks photoshopped.
That looks so photoshopped, but also it makes sense. I think it's fine.
Why? Yeah. Why is the top so big?
Prominent? I don't know. I don't like that it's that prominent.
That's so weird.
Bonanza's got a sick box art. Yeah. That looks cool as shit. Switch 2 edition, Switch 2 edition.
Those day one?
I think those are day one. Yeah, that's the other thing, dude. I'm gonna play Breath of the Wild on this.
Yeah,
thing.
I could see myself free playing Breath of the Wild on this.
Metroid Prime 4 box art sick.
No achievements.
I can't pull it up from here, y'all. I'm sorry. This is tomorrow. I'm getting a fucking wireless keyboard. That it needs to happen so I can just control stuff. I have the wireless mouse. That's step 2. And
then we're back into
another rock block.
Oh, I know.
GameCube. Yeah. This is fucking huge. And Soul Calibur coming to Switch is with Link. You cannot play that unless it is GameCube, which is an expensive ass GameCube game for Soul Calibur.
It's like
not
$30.
Really?
Yeah, it's not expensive.
But anyways, you can't play it anywhere else right now. It is not on any modern console, basically.
Right.
And yeah, I think it's a fucking huge deal. And then Wind Waker. I know
this day one.
Yeah, the GameCube's day one.
I'm playing Wind Waker day one.
Exactly.
Probably.
There's my whole thing is this launch lineup. There is so much to play compared to the Switch 1, and we still have the promise of yes. You're probably gonna get a Smash Bros. You're gonna get a Pikmin. You're gonna get a 3D Mario, 2D Mario. Zelda will come here in probably 2 years. Like, there's so many fucking games here, and that's where I'm like, even though some of this is old stuff, and I'm not excited about the old stuff. I want to be clear, a lot of the old stuff doesn't do it for me. Elden Ring's cool that it's there, but it doesn't do anything for me other than cool that it's there, because I'm not going to play it. I just fucking played 150 hours. I'm going to play it on my PS5, or and then like Cyberpunk, I'm going to play it on my PS5. I'm not doing that, but this is cool. Let's have some fun. Let's play some F-Zero GX. Why the fuck not?
And it's cool that a lot of the titles that are kind of locked to the system that are more expensive are going to become more accessible. Chibi Road was like impossible to get.
Mac, hit me with the list of launch titles. Can you DM me? Okay. It is.
I can read it.
Yep.
Mario Kart World. Sorry, I'm just saying I can read it because I'm closer.
Yep.
Mario Kart World, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, Split Fiction, Cyberpunk, Ultimate Edition, Street Fighter 6, Sid Meier's 7, Civ 7, Hogwarts Legacy, Bravely Default, Yakuza 0, and Fortnite.
That's a list of games. That's a really rock solid list of games.
I think it's solid. I don't think it's
My thing
great.
is, if you are a Switch exclusive person and you don't have another console, having something like Cyberpunk good for you to go.
And having
something
Cyberpunk on the go is cool just in general if you don't have a Steam Deck. And here's the thing that people need to understand, because I've been thinking about this.
More above Hitman. Sorry, you go.
Hitman, Deltarune, Survival Kids, Kinetsugami. I've wanted to play Kinetsugami.
Yeah,
Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Deltarune, Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma.
Okay.
Nobunaga's Ambition, Awakening Complete Edition, Fast Fusion Arcade Archives 2, Ridge Racer.
I couldn't tell where the next game started because with the like the subtitle thing.
And so there's so much that is like
on top of backwards compatibility. Yeah.
I'm gonna bump my score up a little bit. I'm gonna go to an 8.5. Because and you're gonna stick with your 7. That's fine.
My 7,
but like, there's so much that I personally look at this and I'm like, I like this. I'm excited about this. You were giving me day one stuff. You're giving me a couple of first party down the line. There is so much here that is. When I started this, when we were about 20 minutes into this, we had that moment where like they need to fucking come out the games. Where's the fucking games? And then they came out with third party bangers. They came out with first party titles.
Three first party titles.
But I think that they're good, really good. Like what on the good,
and it's a matter of like, are we talking about the future? Like, what do they have ready? And I think September will be very, very telling for when we see another direct for Switch.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be September also.
And what they show them.
I don't think that we're getting another game this fall.
I
think it's Metroid. We have 5 first party games.
I understand that. I think they don't need to show another game for this fall.
Yeah,
I think they should. But even if they show stuff for next year that is exciting, tease out the next Zelda. The fact that we're not going to get a Mario game, a new 3D Mario game, probably until
5 years down the line.
There's a chance we don't get one on this console. Period.
Yeah. No, we're gonna get one on this console. I would take it to the bank. We're gonna get one on this console.
How big do you think this Donkey Kong game is? Is really my question. Like, is this a smaller title in comparison to Odyssey? And if that's the case, with the $70 price tag, $10 less than World, that it might be a little bit smaller.
I think it's beat it. I think it's going to take you 9 hours.
Interesting. How long does it take to beat Odyssey?
Like 12.
Really?
Yeah. And I think there's a lot more to do with Odyssey.
Yeah. So I think that if it is smaller, and hopefully they're already working towards, or have been working towards another 3D Mario game. Like, when do you think we get that?
2030, 2029. The other part is, could another studio be working on this?
We need confirmation on who's working on it. And
that is the Mario Odyssey studio.
It looks just like it.
It is 100% the Mario Odyssey studio. Deltarune on launch day is hype as hell.
Let me go Deltarune, Yakuza, Bravely Default, and mainly Mario Kart on day one. And then a month later,
dude,
we're playing
once again.
Donkey Kong.
The way that this is going to work is going to be, and we'll discuss this. Discord, !Discord. If you haven't joined that, there's going to be so much news of what we're doing, how we're handling the launch. There's going to be a ton of fun there. Resident Evil. There's no way that they wouldn't say Resident Evil 4 is coming over
for GameCube. Was it in that?
It wasn't in that presentation. I'm not believing that for a second. What do you think of the new pricing? $80 an inch, $90 for physical.
So what is it for Donkey Kong?
Probably a 70 digital.
70 and 80? Can we get confirmation on that? We already talked about it, Mischief. I think that games are going to continue to get more expensive, and
Yeah.
it's not.
People are going. I
It's
want
not
people
going to
to
make me happy, but
I want people to do
I'm
what
okay with it.
you need to and think about yourself. I just want people to think for themselves when it comes to the pricing of this type of stuff, because there's going to be people on the internet that are going to be screaming from the rooftop saying, how the fuck do they do this? This is so. And I just want to remind everyone that like it is what
we missed this. Enter the Gungeon 2.
Oh,
That's cool.
That's sick.
That's not a thing, right? That's not a already revealed thing. This was when it cut.
yeah. That's so funny. That's sick.
Sweet. that sucks that we missed that. That's exciting. What is this?
Bugsnax 2.
That's immediately what I thought as well. I don't know what this is.
Anyways, MSRP is 70 digital. It might be 70 across the board, which I could see.
That's weird that it's 70 and then no digital physical
It was
comparison.
split compared to. I mean, it is confirmed that it's 80-90 over on IGN.
That is confirmed.
So, yeah.
Okay.
IGN confirmed that.
That's so weird.
So, we'll see how it all breaks down. I'm very, very interested. I do think tariffs might have something to be in play with all of this, because obviously you're shipping.
That would just be with the console stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Are you also shipping
I don't know about how the chips work. Or whatever.
Do you have to buy the expansion packs for the Switch to get the GameCube games? Yes. Following will be available with the service launches. Wind Waker 0. Later date.
Fire Emblem Path of Radiance? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, Scale of Darkness, Super Strikers.
$250.
Hey, Super Strikers. We can play that on a Switch too. That would be nice to not have to bring the GameCube over.
GameCube price is tanking. Thank goodness,
hey,
dude.
There you go. I assumed that they would. We all knew that would happen eventually.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the Switch 3 when the Mario Galaxy is free.
I don't think I have any supremely expensive GameCube games.
We did get Wind Waker.
Except for, I think my most expensive GameCube game is Twilight Princess.
Family plan is $80 for online. Okay.
For a year?
Oh, that's the other thing. I'm forever gonna have FF7 remake on my console. Cause dude, like that's another one. That's just Jeff Probst. That's how you fucking do it, dude.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like,
cool.
Once again, it's the conversation always of are you excited or are you gonna play it? I'm gonna actually fucking have this on my console forever. Like, I will shell out another $70. Can I get a physical edition of this? Can I get a physical Switch 2 edition of FF7 integrated? I would love that. I can't
really see myself playing this on again after platinum.
I guess what? I'm gonna play it all the gosh darn day. And then closing it out, there's so much shit here. I feel like we've been going nonstop, and they hit us with a rock block, dust blood. We gotta talk about it. This, especially knowing it's a multiplayer game now. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Yeah, I really want to understand what the full scope of that means.
This is another one. I do think Treehouse, we could see 30 minutes on this. That for those who don't know, there's Nintendo Treehouse is tomorrow. I believe they kick off at 10 a.m. Eastern. I'll figure it out. I will react to at least Thursdays just to see what the cadence of these treehouses look like. Like I said, I think that there's a chance. I'm not saying take it to the bank that we get Metroid State tomorrow during a treehouse presentation. I could easily see that. This whole week is just going to be defined by Nintendo news. Right. By the way, Casual Gaming News Conversation, if you're not subscribed over there and they're doing that whole thing, that is going to be must watch for the next probably 3 weeks.
I think visually this looks great.
Stunning.
Super impressive for Switch 2.
And it's what they do with graphic fidelity. They sort of trick the user. Without water, when his foot goes into the ground, the water puddles aren't coming out. But it's also everything around him was gorgeous, you know, so you don't focus on that. It's a little bit of smoke and mirrors, but it's good smoke and mirrors.
I really need to fully understand the multiplayer thing here, because everything else about this looks just like a great From Software game. But if you have to run around with a friend, and is it going to be structured?
This is my thing of this. You jump down, you're fighting people, you're sucking souls. Oh, okay. That was a little gross. Sorry. This thing with the egg pouch it's got in front of it is $80 a year. 8 Nintendo's consoles.
That's for like the family pack, I think.
I mean, yeah, but you mean braid your family now, so we're right together, die together. You jump down, you fight people, you're sucking.
But I want to know: is this structured like Night Rain?
I don't think that. I don't think it is.
Or in you're doing runs with people.
My question with
that doesn't look like multiplayer. Like this looks like one person. I think them saying multiplayer is like, hey, like it is seamless.
Yeah,
that you can hop in together and play together if you would like.
Yeah, which if that is the case, rock and fucking roll. Unless right now they're showing off the different character designs of like classes, then that's very Night Rain, obviously.
Yeah. I think
PvPvE.
I think that Nintendo getting into bed with From Software is like a genius move.
Yeah.
Them being like, make something for us, please. Like, and make it exclusive.
This is the biggest announcement of the day, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's either that or Donkey Kong, but still just like because Donkey Kong is like, there's a chance this happens. There isn't a soul that had this on their fucking bingo card. Also, From Software, you can rest. You can take a nap for a minute. Like, geez Louise.
The fact that this is okay. So when did Elden Ring come out?
22.
Do you think this is their next major title?
Yes.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I think that this might be. Y'all weren't hyped for Silksong. It just popped up for 2025. We didn't get any more on it.
That doesn't feel like.
That's nothing.
That's just.
It's nice to get it reconfirmed.
They might as well have showed a picture of Silksong and then 2025 under it, and I still don't even believe that it's 2025.
Or they've done with all the trailers. Yeah, we're just talking over. And so then, in my opinion, this is PlayStation had an event in 2021. They opened up with Knights of the Old Republic remake. That game is never coming out. But then they closed out with Wolverine, Spider-Man 2, Gran Turismo, and God of War. And that whole presentation, there was like 40 minutes before that of just like third party and whatever. This is, it's not the amount of games that I just said, but to close out with banger, banger, banger at the very end of this.
Banger, banger.
Dustblood.
Oh, okay, I guess that's fair.
Is where I'm just like,
I'm saying the first party.
Yeah, for first party output, it's still fine.
Can't
but
believe it was Kirby, right?
Dude, we all had the moment too.
Cool ass trailer too.
Or is everything up on our end?
Yeah.
Shout out to Jay, by the way. I love you, Jay. He's doing great work for us today. I can't fucking believe this, dude. I can't believe it. I can't believe that it is Kirby Air Riders, which is fun. It's awesome. This is another one that's just like, this is. It's hard to compare. I want to be very clear. I am not saying post what we understood about Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, but when we were during that event, it was like, cool, it's Zelda, which is awesome, but it's still Zelda, and then whatever, and then we get a Mario. This to me that's 2 titles. This is 3 titles of consequence from first party for that first year, and Metroid and Pokemon for first party output support. Like, and I'm gonna play Breath of the Wild on this motherfucker. And like, there's so much here to love and get excited about. I just think that the expectations were so high on 3D Mario and potentially a Zelda tease, and what are we gonna get with Smash? And I mean, this moment was great.
Animal Crossing, Star Fox,
F-Zero returning,
like
Fire Emblem,
new IP. I think the biggest disappointment for me is that there's no major new IP.
I'm going to throw it out there. I would have been, thank God that it wasn't, let's remove Kirby Air Ride and then have new IP there, is my thing.
I would rather there be a exciting new IP that looks really good or whatever that we walk away from and we're like, yes, fuck yes, then re-bringing up
That's true. That's true, Young TK. I do forget the fact that it had Xenoblade Arms and Splatoon.
I do not think those are of as much consequence as Donkey Kong and Mario Kart. And then I
think it's in that same area though as Splatoon.
I think that yes, Air Ride is in the same level as Splatoon and
Arms
maybe Xenoblade.
And Xeno, yeah,
it's above Arms.
Yeah, it's definitely above Arms.
It's a known quantity and looks good.
Did they say we can did they say when we can pre-order it? It is on the 9th. Jay, by the way, if you're gonna stick around, can you upload this podcast after the fact to YouTube also for me? Because I'm going to need to tear this whole thing down. If you are still watching, thank you so much, Jay. If not, just let me know. Shoot me a text. Nick's Fantasy Critics in shambles? Yes.
And then this.
Yeah, it's fucking huge.
I'm curious how big this game is. It looks great. It looks very similarly structured to Odyssey, which I think is cool.
Real quick, Crisis says, if there was a Wind Waker Twilight Princess HD announcement, they'd be losing their mind. I would not at all. I just played those games last year. I'm not. I wouldn't. I'd be like, that's cool. It would have done the same thing Night Rain did or Elden Ring did. Sorry, you were talking about Donkey Kong. I totally interrupted.
I think that's cool for a Switch 1 thing or whatever, for like a reveal for that late in the life cycle, but not for a Switch 2 launch event.
This looks sick. This looks fucking sick.
Yeah, I think this looks great. And I think it's cool to give a new character some shine. Makes sense with the new park in Universal. Trying to get that Did not see
the 2D
aspect.
Yeah,
of it.
that's super sick.
Very excited. About
I mean, you think it's going to be Odyssey where you switch between 2D, 3D, have those moments.
Who's our little friend on our back here?
I don't know. I think hi, I'm Korg. This is Meek. It's a rock guy. But yeah, I think that this looks fucking awesome. Yeah. I think that this is going to be like. I mean, I'm gonna bid my whole house on Fantasy Critic on it. Like, you just do it because it's gonna get a 90+ on Metacritic because it's Nintendo 3D.
Is this up for Game of the Year at the end of the year?
Yes,
100%.
100%.
Take it to the bank. I know that Nintendo gets that bump and it frustrates some people.
I think Nintendo has 3 Game of the Year nominees this year,
which are Metroid Prime, Mario Kart, and this. No, I think you might get 2, in my opinion. I think it's I think
the odd man out would potentially be Mario Kart, but for seeing what Mario Kart seems to be, it seems like here's the thing. Everyone went, there's no way Breath of the Wild is going to be this fucking thing that I play forever and it's this gorgeous moment in games history. I understand that it's not going to be that because what Breath of the Wild is categorically change video games forever. And to go and say that a Mario Kart game is going to change games forever is insane. I do think that this is legitimately fusing Forza Horizon 5, which is in my opinion, should have won Game of the Year in 2021. It didn't even get fucking nominated. And Mario Kart having the pre's. They did exactly what I asked. I said, have the pre so you, me, and Brady can have fun on the couch playing Mario Kart together. Dude, the 24-player online, the amount of community nights that we're going to be able to have, the amount of people that are going to be playing Mario Kart together. This is like...
Let's do the voice chat. I know it can only go 4 people. 24-person voice chat on Switch 2. It sounds terrible. It looks terrible. Let's run it.
I think it's going to change kart games forever. I think it's going to change... I mean, it is doing the 2 things. It's kart and open world, and it's...
I just wanted more hype from this direct. I think that September, they do such a good job of trickling stuff out. Like,
we're going to have, by the way, the first 3 years of directs are going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen Splatoon 4 yet. We haven't seen Xenoblade 4 yet. We haven't seen Fire Emblem yet. And those are the B tier when it comes to Switch IP.
Hype. For hype.
Yeah, for hype.
They're not B tier
when it comes to how good the games are.
Yeah.
But and then you bring out the big guns. We're going to get a Smash Bros. On this fucking thing.
Yeah.
We're going to get a 3D Mario and a 2D Mario.
Sakurai's not working on it.
Eventually, we're going to get a Smash. There's too much fucking money on the table to not have a Smash Bros. I don't know, man. Right. I just love all this.
Yeah, I'm excited. I will be seated. We'll be pre-ordering. Yeah. And I think that this was a 7 out of 10 showcase for a console.
I think this is
lacking in hype because of... I think it loses points a little bit because it's Donkey Kong instead of Mario. I'm still excited, but it's not as hype just because of the IP. And no Zelda, I think it would have... If you tease the next Zelda game here, just tease it. Do what you did in 2019. I think then this is like...
I think they just don't want to... The 2019 tease for that to come out 4 years later was...
Yeah,
it was too long of a gap. And I think that they just don't want to have a chance at another gap for that.
Yeah.
For me, 8.5 out of 10. I am legitimately bumping it. The big knock to it is you have the camera section. You have some of the bullshit in the middle with the world game where you're going into the CPU of the system and everything. That's my knock. But when it comes down to brass tacks, when I'm going to be looking back and rewatching this direct, I'm going to watch everyone react to it. I'm going to be on TikTok all day. It's going to be great. When I go and I look at this direct, I'm going to be like, God, they had the third party. They had exciting third party for day one. They had the first party output. We got a fucking From Software game. One of the biggest partnerships that will... Sony's partnership with From Software was historic. It helped change like the whole idea of what a Sony exclusive can be. And I think that they're like, we want more of those types of games with Bloodborne. And that's why we're going to get something like FF7 Remake and make sure that that's exclusive and stuff like that. This is fucking huge. I don't know. I need a Treehouse 40 minutes on Duskblood. I also want a Treehouse on everything else that they showed off too. But it's amazing. Will you guys be uploading a reaction? Work with Bitsy couldn't watch. Yes, our reaction will be up over on YouTube. If you want to go and check that out, you can do it now. I'm just gonna close this out now. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been a very, very special day of reacting to Nintendo Switch 2 and just getting excited for June 5th. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.